I'm gonna start it up. Look like this. Here's my project. I have several projects here. If you're using this for the first time, this will be blank. You have the installs. This is the Unity versions you have installed on your computer. You can have several installs, but for hard drive space sake, I only have one version, and then it's going to, when newer versions release, I used to install them and uninstall the older versions. Here is learn. This is Unity's own tutorials. Nothing PlayMaker related here. It's if you want to learn C#. And the community, yeah, we don't look into that. So when you want to install Unity, first you install Unity Hub, of course, from the web page, pressing install edition. And here is something important to remember. You see this LTS. It's long-term service or long-term support edition. I recommend you to stick to these versions. We had the older from 2019. I have the 2020 edition, and there are some newer edition as well. Unity, I think, is recommended, so maybe I should upgrade to this. Somehow I still using this, but so if you're new to this, I would probably go for this one. Depending when you see this tutorial video, if you see this in a couple of years from now, there's a totally different versions than that is shown here. The other versions is some even newer, but I recommend these. Here's some pre-releases, beta and alpha versions. Don't start any serious game project with these editions. This is just for trying out the new features that will be on the official releases later on. Yeah. However, you just install. When you press install, you have some choose here which platform you wanna have to export your project on. So if you're planning to make some Android games for the Android cell phones, tablets, I will select these. Remember, these take some space on the hard drive, and they can take some time to download if you have a slow internet, so don't check everything here if you know you're not gonna use it at all. You have Mac support, Linux support. If you wanna make some games that can be played directly on the web browser, pick these. WebGuild Bold support. And the documentation, if you want to have that on the hard drive, but documentation can be searched on the internet as well. Here you have some language packs in Chinese and Japanese and stuff. I don't bother with these. I'm not gonna install this because I already installed it. It's pretty forward and simple. Then what? We're going to start a new project, and let's say we have some options here. Here's some templates. So if you're going for a karting for Mario Kart style game, you can download this template and create a project from there. To the game, FPS micro game. But I suggest you start from scratch so you can learn stuff actually. We also have core game and sample and stuff. It's like the whole template. So this is everything. However, this is pretty interesting. If you're going to opting for a 2D game, I will go for this one. If you're opting for a 3D game with very low graphic, just starting out, the high-end graphic is nothing you actually care about. You can go for this one. And this one, if you wanna targeting to have really awesome graphic 3D games, close to Unreal Engine 5 games, go for this. It's needed gaming rig to handle. This one is also for pretty graphic, but are not as taxing on the hardware as this one. So, well, we can go for a simple 3D game for now. We can name this Unity PlayMaker, real game, whatever. Pick a location. Gonna pick this, and I'm gonna create a new map here, and I'm gonna name it Unity PlayMaker Tutorial Series, like so. This map, select folder. A new folder will be created with this name and all the files under there. Create the project and then wait. Depending if you have it installed on a SSD drive or like solid state or a mechanic old school drive, this will get you up faster or slower. I have this on the old school drive, so just wait here. Wait for the loading time. It's still quicker than Unreal Engine, most of the case. First time running a game project will take some time, and then you will find out it starts up a lot faster, but over time, then the project getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it can slow down the starting time. Right, so this is Unity, my boys and gals, my dudes, looking like this. If you start with a 2D game, it probably look like some different. However, it's an empty space. This is the game view. This is like editor window view. Animation is the project. Audio mixer and stuff. You can drag these. You can rearrange, like move around and stuff, and the window. Customize it if you want to. And the only thing you have is the main camera, directional light, and sample scene. This is the sample scene. Alright. The first thing I will do when I create a project is going to get Playmaker. So I go into the Asset Store. Now we like pretend I'm going to actually buy the Playmaker. Lol. What? Playmaker. And here it is. It's cheaper now when it used to be. So I suggest to get it before it's get cheaper, more expensive again. It's 50% off. I already bought it, so I can just open it here. But if you don't, it will be some buy button here and enter the credit card number and stuff. You have several choice to buy it. Open in Unity. It will open in so-called package manager. The package manager is everything that you can get. It's like plugins for the game project. Many things are already installed and on the computer, but it needs to be important to the game project. So it's like a two-steps thing. You get the asset and then you need to import it. Here we have PlayMaker. The bold here is another visual scripting. You can download and import. It's totally free. It don't used to be free, but Unity bought it up and made it free. It's harder to learn if you used to the Blender engine, Logibrick style. You are more familiar with the PlayMaker. These have a much more steeping learning curve, and if you can handle both, good. You probably can just go in C#. So it's like C#, but visual style. PlayMaker is like more click and play style. It's much easier. So download here or re-download. I don't gonna do it. I have the latest version, so I go to just import. Here all the stuff that will be important. Just import. And install PlayMaker. And so yes. And here's even more stuff. Yes. This is pretty funny. First you bought it, then you download it to a computer, then you import the installation file into the project, then it's like into the project, you like install it a second time. If you miss one of these, it won't work, so you need to do it. Just wait, be patient. Yeah, I do this every time I start a new project. Close down these. So now we have PlayMaker, and first thing first, I'm gonna make like a moving ball on some flat ground, rectangular shape. So first off, we're going for a cube. We call it ground. We're gonna scale this and see this axis here, X, Y, Z. So 50 on this and 50 on this. You can play around in this view with A, W, S, G buttons, and right click on the mouse to look around. Pretty good, huh? And now we create, right click here, create a sphere. We call it player ball. Another important thing I used to forget all the time is the position of the object here. We want to have 0, 0, 0, so it's centered and good. And this too. And when we do it, the ball is inside and glitched, stuck into the ground, so we're gonna move it up a little bit, like so. And then we're gonna add some stuff on this stuff. So we go into ground. It's already have a box collider. That's great. Otherwise, it will be like a no clip object. It could fall through from. So this one have a square collider already. That's good. We're gonna add a component. We're gonna add rigged body main, like not 2D, 3D one that doesn't say 3D. And we're gonna add PlayMaker. We're gonna name this movement. However, if I run this, see the ball is falling to the ground, like so. If I drag this and drop, so it's actually physics. If I like doing, no, like, nice. You can edit and stuff when the game is running. Like, I can make this 100 mass, like, make it heavy. But when the game is running and I'm doing some edit stuff here, I go into pause. It will reset, so nothing will be saved if you do any scene changes when this is running. So it's very important. Now it's paused, so when I move up this, it's stuck here. So it's game engine is not running right now. I go to edit mode here, and it's some different where it was, but I'm going to drag this window down here. Here is the PlayMaker window. All the magic happened here. It's like the logi brick for Blender Engine. I have several states. This one state is blank from now, doing nothing, but I'm gonna name it movement too. I don't know why, because it's movement, I suppose. We're going to action browser. I'm gonna move this over to here because I like it so. We're gonna, here is some little more advanced stuff. We're going to get axis, so this is gonna collect information from input axis. No, we're not gonna use that. We're gonna use axis vector, horizontal and vertical. Why they have these names? Yeah, you can check these settings here. If you go into project settings, you're going to input manager, you're going to access here. This is horizontal. Negative button, positive button. This one's is left and right. It's like left and right on the keyboard, and A and D, of course. You can also map these horizontal and vertical. It's pretty much the same, but vertical. Up and down, S and W. You can use, this is the X axle or U axle. You can change these to joysticks and stuff. Actually, when you're using axis, you can also use the, if you have like a game control gamepad installed on your computer. It will work with that too. However, you can change the axis, but this X and Z, like moving in this axis and this, it's correct. May differ if you have making a 2D game, or if you wanna have the vertical be like it's lifting up and down instead of moving this way. So relative to object, you can have it none, you can have it many. People have used to have the main camera also, but I keep it in none. Okay, so you're getting axis vector. I'm gonna store the vector to a variable. Gonna call it momento. Yeah, little Italia here, I think, or Spanish, I don't know. And then we're going to get sick. We're going to force. Gonna drag this down. Yeah, by the way, when the engine is running, it's running from start here, going to the first state, and the first state is this list, is going from up and down. So if you have in like a wait function, there are actually a function here you can put between here, like wait 4 seconds, so it's running this and then it's checking this. So it's like reading from top to bottom. So remember that it's like real coding, but also not. Add force. I'm gonna add force to vector momento here, and it's very important to press every frame, because as long as this is active state, it's gonna read it every frame if you have this activated. This aren't required, it's like every frame anyway, but if you have this unselected, it will only check this once on the state, and if you send the function to another state and when coming back it will run again, but every frame, very important. We're gonna check this if this works. You can use the arrow keys or AVJSD keys, and it works. If I stop, it's still moving, but it's a round ball, so trying it. Alright, cool. We can add some multiplying here. It's making the force much stronger. We can use this if you wanna speed up the moving force. You can also add other fancy stuff, but nah, going for this one. Change this up to 5. Then again, now it's moving quickly. And one thing I want when I'm stopped or pressing any keys is still rolling, because it's a ball with no damping force. I'm gonna change that, so I'm going to inspector mode, go to rigid body here. I'm gonna raise the drag like to up to 5. This up to 5. Let's see what happens. It's have so much drag, it's slow again. When I'm stopped touching the keys, it stops very fast. I still running this. I just wanna check in real time what happens when I change this. So I'm going to check this to number 2 and 2 here. Angular drag and drag, it's two different things. Angular drag is for rolling, rotation, drag, and this is like movement drag. Oh, forgive me. I'm gonna check this again. My fault. Gonna try this again. It's no better. I think. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. I selected the ground. I wanna select the ball again. Right, so I'm gonna change this to 2. Now it's not running, so it's gonna be saved. I'm gonna speed up these because when I increase the drag, I need to increase the multiplying here. So I'm going for 10. It's a big jump, but it's worth it, I think. Yeah, looking good, huh? Nice. Cool, very cool indeed. I don't like it's white, so I wanna create some materials. Going back to acid, you can be a very serious dude here. You can create a folder material if you want. You can store materials in scenes or having just a mess around here, but here is the PlayMaker stuff also. Go to materials, right click on this window, create new material. We're gonna name this ground matte. We're gonna just change the color. We can do many stuff with materials, but I'm going simple. I'm gonna drag this over to the ground. I can create another like player ball mat. The material of the ball. I'm gonna change the color to red because I don't know. And we can change stuff here. We can make it much smooth here. We can add many stuff here. I don't gonna going in detail about this right now. But like so. Can change the camera here. We can put the camera on the player as a child object, and it's gonna be very not so fun. This stuff works much like in Blender Engine. There are ways to making it not rotate with the object. But for now, I'm gonna put it as not a child object. Yeah, and last thing before I wrap this up, if you actually wanna publish the game and play it like a standalone game, as a real game, you go into bold settings, and as you can see, scenes in bold, there nothing. You press this button, add open scenes. So now the scene which is open here will be added to the bold. If you have several scenes, you open the next scene, going to this window, add that scene too. And then you pick your platform of choice. I'm going to pick PC. And here you can pick, I only have Windows as a platform, but if you installed several platforms like Mac or Linux, you can pick it here. You of course picking this 64-bit, you can pick the 32 bits here. Leave rest as blank. And bold. And you need to pick a map. I'm gonna create a new map here. I'm gonna make it like builds. This is the project map for the project. Yeah, just build it there and wait. Because it's a small project, it will go pretty fast. And it looks like this. Double click here to run the game. And here is your game. My game. And you move around with this ball here. Nothing more else, because we haven't done anything more than this. Can roll off the edge, like so. To close this game, you need to do it by Alt F4. Later we can add some proper exit menus, button and stuff, like you press a button, which means exit, or press the escape key to exit. I will show you later on this tutorial how to do that. You can also change the icon here by going to play settings. Here is icons, you can pick another icon here, but I will show you that later in the future. So that's all for this time, and like, share and subscribe, comment down below for feedback, and we see you next time. I think I'm going to do a FPS tutorial with Unity and Playmaker then. But until then, have a great day. See you.